The adventures of the new Green Lanterns continued this week with the release of Absolute Green Lantern number 7. If you haven't been keeping up with this bold reinvention of the Emerald Knights, then give me a minute or so and I'll bring you up to speed. In the Absolute universe, there is no intergalactic police force. There's no such thing as the emotional spectrum of light, fitting for a place created by Darkseid. Instead, the spectrum of light is more philosophical, representing the stages of enlightenment. The 4 key groups are Cord, the black flame, representing chaotic action; Rao, the red flame, representing restraint from action; Sur, the green flame, representing correct action; and Or, the gold flame, representing total understanding. The series started out as a horror mystery, with the small town of Evergreen being taken over by an alien, Abin Sur, and his Green Lantern. At first it seemed like Abin Sur was killing the townspeople one by one, but in reality he was assessing them. He was on a recruitment drive, bolstering their forces to help face off against the world that is coming, in this case a literal planet, Mogo, home of the Black Stars. Of course, the people of the town had no idea what was going on, and Joe Mullen, Hal Jordan and John Stewart tried to figure out a way to escape. Along the way, they stumbled upon the Green Aura's weakness to yellow and gold objects. When Abin Sur assessed John, Joe and Hal thought he had been killed, and so they confronted Abin Sur. The gold from Joe's wedding ring caused a strange reaction, where she drained his powers from him. Abin Sur had spent years mastering the green light, so watching someone wield it without training felt like a betrayal. Stripped of his power, his Green Lantern vessel crashed to Earth, devastating Evergreen. Believing his friends were dead, Hal snapped. He shot Abin Sur, killing him. This act cursed Hal with the Black Hand, transforming him into a Black Star. The black flame fed on his darkest thoughts until he crossed paths with Joe, now a Green Lantern, and the two clashed. In the end, Joe freed Hal from the Black Hand's grip, then escaped to Coast City. Now, this issue does not continue the story of Hal and Joe. Instead, it takes place far away in space, as we see a battle between the Black Stars and the handful of new Green Lanterns. And I have to say that in my opinion, this is the best issue of the series yet. So the basic premise is that a similar mission to Abin Sur's was taking place on the planet J586. They were on a recruitment drive, which the Black Stars would not tolerate, citing the law of Cord. Mogo itself approaches the planet and bellows at the inhabitants to give up the Green Lanterns. However, it's a planet of 7 billion people. Trying to find just 3 of them is a challenge. With the entire population of the planet now threatened, the 3 Green Lanterns make themselves known and face off with a weaponer, an adept Black Star. And this is the first of several well-known Green Lantern characters to appear in this issue, but I think that some fans will be sad to see his fate. The weaponer is Kilowog, and he makes short work of the Green Lanterns, crushing the skull of one of them. When the second attempts to become non-corporeal, Kilowog's Black Star powers can still harm him, slicing off his arm before decapitating him. And it's interesting to note that Kilowog seems to have some technical upgrades to his body. His legs appear to be mechanical. I'm not quite sure what this means, given that the power of the Black Star allows him to regenerate, only that it seems to be a stylistic thing rather than a prosthetic. As if it wasn't bad enough that the Black Stars became possessed by the Black Star and start spewing hatred, the weaponers seem to have started sacrificing their body parts too. And even when he gets his head blown off, that doesn't put a stop to him. He kills the remaining Green Lantern and then waits for his head to regenerate. Mogo, meanwhile, passes judgment on the inhabitants of J586 by blowing the planet up. This also destroyed their Green Lantern vessel, which now consists of 5 pieces. Kilowog gathers up a sample and plans to take it back to Mogo, but before he can get too far, we get our second introduction of the issue. Tomar, wielder of the Red Flame of Rao, arrives and makes short work of the Black Stars. At first he's seen as a red streak of light, but when he confronts Kilowog, he takes the time to talk to him. Ray explains that the power of the Red Flame is built on restraint and defense. It usually takes intense dedication to learn to use its powers in this way. But he is an anomaly. Like Joe on Earth, he hasn't followed the rules and stolen the power for himself, so he can do what he likes. And what he wants to do is kill the Black Stars. He achieves this by trapping Kilowog within a box construct and then contracts it, turning him into pulp. This is a condition that he will not be able to recover from, and Tomar sends his remains to Mogo with his regards. Mogo is incredulous, completely aghast. How dare someone, anyone, attack the Black Stars? But what follows is a very significant reveal. We're introduced to the true leader of the Black Stars, who lives on Mogo. It's Sinestro. Mogo is a planet of death with its surface littered with corpses, and Sinestro stands in a tower surveying the destruction. While he laments Kilowog's death, he understands that Tomar Ray is trying to catch his attention, but it's too late. He's already aware of the anomaly on Earth. When Jo got her powers, we were shown a double-page spread showing what I thought was knowledge being passed to her, with characters like Tomar Ray and Sinestro appearing. However, what it seems to have indicated was more of an alert informing them of Jo's existence, which will not be good for her. Sinestro narrates this scene talking about how enlightenment is overrated and how the Adepts of Oa are mistaken. What really matters most in the universe is will. And the shocking revelation here is that Sinestro is both a Black Star and a Gold Lantern. You can see from his speech bubble that initially his text is circled by the black energy, and he too has had mechanical upgrades. But as he continues talking, the colour of his speech bubble changes to gold. On the final page, we can see the gold emblem hovering above his mechanical body. If the amount of tech upgrades indicates your position with the Black Stars, then Sinestro is right up there. Pretty much all of him has been replaced aside from a hand and most of his head. Similarly, he claims that if you follow the Owen ideology, then those that wield the gold flame will never rise above the rank of initiate. As he has discarded their beliefs, he has become the only Abin of the gold flame, which can't be good news for anyone. So yeah, quite a lot happens in this issue. Lots of familiar faces with new twists, and I think that so far, this has been my favourite issue of the series. The art by Jason Howard and Riley Rosmo is more to my tastes. It has a cartoony expressiveness to it that speaks to me more than Janoy Lindsay's manga-inspired art style. I can practically already hear complaints about Kilowog's fate, but remember, there's absolutely no point in doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. These Absolute books don't replace what came before, they complement them. Think of it as just being a different flavour, and whether you love it or hate it, there's no denying that this series has been bold enough to experiment with the DNA of Green Lantern. For me, that's what makes it exciting. It's a chance to see these characters through a cracked mirror and a reminder that reinvention is part of what keeps superhero stories alive. If this is what the Absolute line has in store for the future, then I'm more than willing to see how far into the dark these flames can burn. Absolute Green Lantern number 7 is available now from all good comic shops. If you are based in the UK and don't have a comic shop near you, then you might want to use my affiliate link with the UK's biggest comic book retailer, Forbidden Planet. I have included a link in this video's description. Alternatively, if the idea of hoarding a collection of comic books fills you with dread, I just got back from LA Comic Con and resisted buying any comics. Am I dying? You may want to try getting a digital copy of the issue from Amazon. I also have an affiliate link with them, which you could use to help my channel out. This is included in the video's description. To those that have read the issue, what did you think? I don't know why, but I really responded to Mogo's dramatic phrasing, "I speak the doctrine of Mu." In the mainline universe, Mu was a controller, beings from an alternate reality that, you know what, that doesn't really matter. But here it seems to be a title that Sinestro uses, maybe, possibly? I must admit that I was a little surprised that the inhabitants of J586 struggled to find the Green Lanterns. When Abin Sur initiated his cosmic personality test on Earth, he locked the entire town of Evergreen under a bubble. Seems kinda hard to miss, but I suppose no one came to their aid right away either, so perhaps I'm overthinking it. And finally, am I the only one that felt a little sorry for the little space starfish that was documenting Sinestro's sermon? The poor little thing got squished for doing its job. In some ways, this is the perfect representation of a universe created by Darkseid, but hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. Next time. I'll be back shortly with a video about the second issue of Matt Fraction's new Batman series. This time, Tim Drake finds himself in a spot of bother as he's arrested by the GCPD and Batman has got to help him out. And then next week it'll be time to resume my coverage of the Absolute line by talking about Absolute Batman 13. This issue promises to be the debut of Absolute Catwoman. Maybe between her, Batman and Alfred, they'll finally have the means to take on Bane and the Arkham facility. Hope to see you then.